Mangwanani Mwalelepo Fukenjani Qeqwa Svanave Africa. Welcome to Africa Good Morning, the news and current affairs show bringing you everything you need to know happening on the African continent and beyond. You are joined by Ashwin Berry and Glenora Shipura. How are you, Glenn?
I'm very good.
All right.
I'm trying to, bring bright colors.
Yeah, you look fantastic.
Thank you.
You look
Thank
great.
You. I was waiting for the compliment.
Oh, it's all right. It's all right, surely.
You took too long.
I took too long.
Well, getting into what you can expect in today's show, court annuls elections in Kalumankolo in Maputo City in Mozambique. Men wanted over $46,000 in Zimbabwe visa scam is arrested. Beaches close in SA's Durban City after heavy rains. Much later in the show, we'll also be talking to Mike Sichula, who'll be filling us in on the latest news in Zambia. Do stay tuned for this and more news on Africa Good Morning.
We are so excited to be kickstarting your morning with entertainment.
Everything was happening during this past weekend.
Yes.
Exciting news.
Wow, no, she was killing it already.
In my opinion, I don't see anything wrong with him serving the full term.
As well as keeping you informed on the issues that you need to know happening in and around our country.
All right, let's get straight into our top story. Starting in Mozambique, the Judicial Court of the Municipal District of Shamankulo in the city of Maputo upholds Renamo Mozambique's appeal and annuls the elections in 64 polling stations, Salah Dapas reports. Meanwhile, newspaper Evidencias brought a report yesterday evening on the Lamankulo District Court decision, stating that the district court in the city of Maputo has just ordered the repetition of the intermediate count at the level of that municipal district based on copies of original notices presented by Renamo in that court. According to TV Successor, an organization that has been relentless in covering these elections, this is a counting of more than 100 tables, and just as happened in the Kamfumu district in Shamankulo, there may also be criminal accountability for those individuals involved, depending on the degree of the participation in the illicit act.
Zimbabweans on social media are questioning why a man accused of running a visa scam has been released on bail. Tatenda McDonald Mafende appeared in court on Monday to face charges of fraud. He is accused of conning 53 nurses into paying $850 each in order to get a visa to the UK, but never delivered. He had been on the run since May and was arrested over the weekend at a lavish family party. He was released on bail paying $300 and is due to appear in court on the 20th of November for the start of his trial. He has not commented on the allegations. Bail for someone evading the police and an arrest warrant, one person on X, formerly known as Twitter, said, expressing a general feeling of outrage. Others were happy he had been caught at last, with one person posting on X, defrauding desperate people trying to get out of an oppressive economic situation is the pits. The scam began when Mr. Mafende approached an education and employment agent with a promise that he could secure what is called a certificate of sponsorship document for nursing students. A COS is a prerequisite for foreign workers who want to apply for a visa to the UK. Mr. Mafende told the agent each COS would cost $850 per person.
Now, all beaches have been closed in South African port city of Durban following heavy rains that left the sea water in murky conditions. Now, the two-day rains washed logs and other debris into the sea, while shark nets at most beaches were damaged, making beaches unsafe for public use, authorities said. Residents have, however, been allowed to enjoy other activities along the beach that do not require them to come into contact with sea water. KwaZulu-Natal province's disaster management team said they evacuated several people whose homes were damaged by the rain. Now efforts are underway to fix the nets and infrastructure.
Swinging over to South Africa, residents of Nkomazi in Mpumalanga embarked on a peaceful march to the Limpopo port of entry to hand over a memorandum of grievances. The residents allege that crime, which includes kidnappings, killings, hijackings, and robberies, have increased in the area. They further allege that undocumented immigrants from Mozambique entered through the border to commit crime and then flee back to their country. Nkomazi residents say they have had enough. They took to the streets leading to the Limpopo port of entry to hand over a memorandum of grievances. The residents say criminal activities are on the rise. They are pointing fingers at undocumented immigrants from Mozambique. They also accuse border officials of corruption. We have people who were kidnapped in these border and they were raped. These perpetrators, they demanded money from them, money they did not have because they were farm workers. We also have problem of stolen cars passing from our residents. We are not safe. A community member explains. There is a problem with the fence that is easy for the undocumented immigrants to pass and come to South Africa, another community member elaborates. Now, community leaders say cars are smuggled into Mozambique daily. Kidnapping cases are also increasing.
Now, the African Union Commission has fallen victim to cybercrime after fraudsters deployed artificial intelligence tools to impersonate the continental body's head, Moussa Faki. Mr. Faki, who is the chairperson of the African Union Commission, the Secretariat of the African Union, routinely writes to global leaders whenever he needs to place a call. Such a letter is formally known as a note verbale and is the standard procedure for scheduling meetings between the African Union leadership and representatives of other countries or international organizations. Now, fraudsters faked his voice and placed several video calls to European capitals, ostensibly seeking to arrange meetings. AU Commission has revealed that the cyber criminals used fake email addresses too, pretending to be the organization's deputy chief of staff, seeking to arrange calls between foreign leaders and Mr. Faki. That brings us to the end of our top stories on Africa Good Morning. After the break, we talk to Mike Sichula in Zambia.
Welcome to My.NA Cars, your ultimate destination for everything automotive.
I am your host, Diana Master.
Teamwork makes the dream work, right?
Discover the latest models, innovative technologies, and expert insights from our passionate hosts. Learn essential maintenance tips and get exclusive behind-the-scenes access to the automotive industry. Don't miss My.NA Cars on NTV every Thursday at 2100 hours. Tune in and ignite your passion for automobiles.
Exciting times in Zambia as the country is set to start manufacturing motor vehicles very soon. How's it going, Mike? Do take us through the stories.
Africa, good morning. Yes, it is an exciting phase for the Zambian manufacturing industry as a Chinese firm, Beta Technology Group, a Chinese company, will start manufacturing motor vehicle batteries at the recently opened multi-economic facility zone in Chibombo District, Central Zambia. So according to the company president, Pauline Hill, he says the manufacturing of car batteries will start by May 2024 because the equipment to begin the process will be assembled, it will be delivered in the country by this December 2023, and the installation is expected to be completed by March 2024. So this is coming just after President Hichilema went to China, and a number of companies that pledged to invest in Zambia are coming. And one of the facilities is the recently opened economic zone in central Zambia. So according to this company, they are expected to create over 2,000 jobs once this plant is set up in Zambia.
Well, that sounds like a step in the right direction. Now, in your next story, a female traffic police officer has earned herself a demotion for dancing on TikTok videos. Is that fair? Can you get into that, please?
You know, these are fairly new trends that have come about because of social media. So probably she did not know that she was committing an offense. But however, when her superiors saw the video, they had to sit her down and explain to her some procedures that she did not follow. So according to a letter that was written by Central Province Police Division, he directed the officer in charge that Constable Yando Shonga must be charged with conduct under caps of Police Regulation Act, as well as under the tribunal processes as soon as possible. I think the video is there. It could be shown as so that our viewers can be able to see what she probably didn't do anything much apart from just trying to sing, to dance here and there.
Sorry,
So
Mike.
she's been demoted from the.
Sorry, Mike. No, we won't be able to play the video, but if you could just let us know her name again, if you have it, so we can check out her TikTok account and our viewers can too.
Yes, it's Luyando Shonga. Luyando Shonga. So she's been demoted from the high-ranking section, of traffic section to the inquiries desk just within Chibom at Duterte Police Station in Central Province. So it is something that probably has caught a number of Zambians waggling with their tongues, thinking, is this a crime?
Yes, I'm also wondering the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, to get demoted, you know, I'm sure that also affects one's salary. I definitely hope she appeals the decision, you know what I mean? Because, I mean, it's a TikTok dance challenge. Now, police in Lusaka have arrested a banker for stealing over $16.5 million. Obviously, this is more serious than TikTok dancing. Tell us more, Mike.
Yeah, this is also another story that is trending in Zambia, where a Standard Chartered Bank employee, Kondwani Muhango, age 35, is reported to have stolen 16.8 million kwacha from the bank suspense account. So this is money that is held by the bank in a suspense account, but according to the statement that the Drug Enforcement Commission unit, the money laundering unit, say that Mr. Muhango, with acting with people unknown, did have access to this suspect account, and he withdrew money, and he directed this money to be given to third parties where when these third parties got the money, they later gave it to him. Of course, he must have given them some commission, and he deposited this money into his personal account, the kwacha account, as well as a dollar account. Then he also went further to buy property such as houses and also some motor vehicles, which police have also now seized, and are trying to establish who within the bank did assist Muhango to have access to this suspect account of Standard Chartered Bank. So it is something that we are expected to see who will be arrested together with him.
Well, do keep us posted on any further developments in that story. Now, moving on to your last story, 3 Zimbabweans are among 25 people rounded up by the police for cyber-related crimes. What's going on there?
So apparently what has been happening in Zambia is that there have been a lot of robberies, breaking in cars. Sometimes you could be walking down the street, people will just grab you. If you have a backpack, they'll grab you. People will drive over, grab that bag, run away. Sometimes you are on the phone, people just get your phone and run away. And also cyber-related crimes where people are purporting to be selling something online, and you think it is genuine. They ask you to send money, they disappear, or something like that. So because of this, the crime security cyber task force was formed, comprising of the Zambia Police, the Drug Enforcement Commission, and ZICTA, the telecoms regulator, where they arrested 25 suspected criminals, among them 3 Zimbabweans, during the 3-day operation which was conducted in Lusaka recently. So there has been what they discovered during this operation is that 17 cell phones were recovered, as well as 91 SIM cards which are believed to have been used in the committing of this crime. Then the team also recovered 1 motor vehicle, and those that have been arrested are now being questioned to establish whether there is a lean leader who is behind this, and also what extent of penetration have these criminals gotten in terms of the 3 mobile operators in Zambia, because a number of people are believing that there are some workers within these mobile operators that may know what is going on.
And potentially perhaps be in cahoots with them.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Mike, for bringing us the news stories from Zambia.
Thank you very much, Africa. Good morning. I did tell Grenora that I've spotted a new haircut in town. I hope you are going to have a lovely weekend. Thank you.
I certainly hope to do so. It was one of the instructions as I continue on my journey to paying lobola to a Zambian woman's family. Weather after the break.
Welcome to What's Cooking, where culinary passion meets expert insights.
Somebody must really want to cook and want to cook good food.
Immerse yourself in the bustling world of professional kitchens as top chefs create mouth-watering dishes. Join us for in-depth interviews as our host explores the experiences and expertise of our guest chefs. Don't miss out. Tune in to What's Cooking on NTV every Friday at 2100 hours and let the culinary adventure begin.
All right, let's dive into the economic news stories. After 2 years of falling growth, economic growth in sub-Saharan Africa will improve by an estimated 4% in 2024, predicts the International Monetary Fund, with John Allen writing for All Africa. But this aggregate figure conceals differing realities for different nations. Growth is expected to be slower in countries which export oil and raw materials, such as minerals, than in those with more diversified economies. People's incomes are also expected to rise faster in diversified economies. The IMF is also recommending that sub-Saharan African nations take a number of specific steps to offset the recent slowdown of growth in China.
Mozambique's publicly owned electricity company, EDM, announced on Tuesday that it will resume the sale of electricity to Zambia through its Zambian counterpart, ZESCO Limited. To this end, EDM chairperson Marcelino Alberto and the ZESCO General Director, Victor Mapani, signed a power supply agreement under which EDM will sell 50 firm megawatts of power to ZESCO and a further 200 non-firm megawatts. Firm means that the power is supplied at off-peak times. The two companies also extended an agreement whereby power is supplied from Zambia to Zumbo district in the western Mozambican province of Tete. The agreements were signed on Tuesday in Luanda on the sidelines of a meeting of the Executive Committee of the Southern African Power Pool.
All right, that brings us to the end of our economic news stories. We're going to dive to the indicators just before Ari Hohad steps up with the sport.
Good day everyone, time for international sports news, starting off with rugby news. First, big semi-finals being played in the World Cup in France this coming weekend, and it is South Africa that play against England. That will be on Saturday in Paris. News from the South African camp is that the coach Jacques Nienaber, he selected his team for the semi-final against England, and it is the same team that played against France. It's an unchanged team that will play against England. That means that some discussion was made about the number 10 and if Andre Pollard will start, but it's again Manie Libbok that will be the number 10. He will be the fly-off in the game, and also Kobus Reinach, he's retained as the scrum-off. Also, there were talk that on the outside centre, on the number 13 jersey, it might be Nukanu that might come back in place of Jesse Kriel, but Jesse Kriel had a brilliant game against France and he's retained as the centre. That means also that there's a 5-3 split on the bench, that meaning 5 forwards and 3 backline players. The 3 backline players being Faf de Klerk and also Willie Leroux that will join Andre Pollard on the bench. Also, the All Blacks that announced their team to play against Argentina on Friday, and the news there is that Mark Talia, the wing, he's back in the team, and he was dropped because of a breach of team protocol, disciplinary reasons, and that was for the game the previous weekend against Ireland. And he replaces in the wing, he replaces Lester Fianga Anuka, and also there's a change in the lock position, and it is the experienced Sam Whitelock that will start, and it is Brodie Retallick that will be on the bench. Kick-off in that game, that is New Zealand playing against Argentina, will be 9 p.m. on Friday evening. The final of the World Cup will be played on the 28th of October. That will also be in Paris. Continuing international sports news with soccer news, and it's news from the injury of Neymar. He's the Brazilian international. He injured his knee. That was in the Brazil's loss of 2-0 against Uruguay. That's a World Cup qualifying game. And it is, doctors confirmed that it is a serious knee injury for Neymar. Unfortunately, they confirmed that he ruptured his anterior cruciate ligaments and also his meniscus. So he's out for quite some time and will require surgery. He recently joined the Saudi Arabian League, and he plays for Al Hilal, and it was well documented that he was paid a lot of money to move over to Al Hilal, and it is a 2-year contract worth $219 million annually, so he will receive that for year 1 and 2, $219 million. Moving on to Formula One racing news, the next one on the calendar this coming weekend is the United States Grand Prix that will be in Austin in Texas. News from the Grand Prix is that experienced Daniel Ricciardo is back to race again, and that will be for the AlphaTauri team. AlphaTauri team is backed by Red Bull. It was Daniel Ricciardo that injured his hand in an accident that was in qualifying, still in practice rounds. That was in the Dutch Grand Prix on the 25th of August, but he's back again in the AlphaTauri and will race on the weekend. Closing off today's international sports news with tennis news, it is the Japan Open that continues. It is round 16 games. Big news from the tennis tournament is that the number 2 seed in the men's division, Casper Ruud, is out of the tournament. He lost to Marcus Giron of the United States. The score there was 6-3 and 6-4. Good result for Australian Alex de Minaur, and he beat Diego Schwartzman of Argentina. The score there was 6-love and 7-5. And number 1 seed Taylor Fritz, he's still playing in the round of 16 and still in the tournament. That's international sports news for today. Hope you have a great sport day, and we talk international sport again tomorrow. Goodbye.
Let's quickly look into the highlights from this morning. Court annuls elections in Maputo City. Man wanted over $46,000 in Zimbabwe visa scam arrested. Sub-Saharan African nations urged to diversify economies.
And with that, we've come to the end of our broadcast. Thank you for joining us on this Friday morning. From me, Glenn Rashipura.
And Ashwin Berry, Sweda Jakanaka.